Alright, so I'm going to be going over how to make a weapon system. So this weapon system is going to have ammo system, it's going to have a switch system, it's going to have a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to go over how to make it. It's kind of a change on Kyle Dial's. Kyle Dial. I have no idea how to say his last name. Or maybe his first name isn't even Kyle. I don't really know. But it's a take on what he did. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up Epic Games or open up the project that you have already created and choose a third-person character template. That's just going to get it so you have third-person character there. You can run around in the scene, just do all that. So we're going to let it load up, and whichever one loads up, I'll show you that first. Awesome. Alright, so we're going to go to Unreal Engine. It's a little slow. There we go. Alright. So you're going to go to Unreal Engine. I'm using 5.2, but you can use anything you want. So first thing you're going to need, oh, there we go. So the first thing you're going to need is a weapon pack. I am using military weapon Stark just because they look cool, but you can even use FPS weapon bundle or any of this. These are all free assets, by the way. And you'll notice how, there's like a whole bunch of different options you can do and stuff. Wonder if there's a, yeah. So there's just a bunch of different types of weapons and ammo and all that stuff. So you're going to add that to your project, and then you're also going to do animation starter pack. That's going to get you started with all your animations that you need. I personally am not really using many animations right now, just a few, and I'll show you which ones those are. So you'll notice that when you kind of open up, you'll be in your third-person template. So if I play it, you can see that they have a gun in their hand, and that it can be changed out. You'll notice that it'll change out. And if I aim, it'll have at the bottom of the page, it's a little hidden there for right now, but you can kind of see it. If I aim down, you can kind of see it. It's a weird stretched out. We're going to get that fixed as well. But it'll show you your ammo, so you can fire, and then you can reload, and then you can go back to you can go to your second weapon. You can fire that as much as you want, until you run out of ammo. Reload, fire again, and then if you switch back to your first one, it goes exactly to what it was before, and you can reload. So if we remember, it's 3 bullets left with 18 rounds left. Then we can go back to 2, I think that's what it's called. Then we can fire, reload. So we have, let's just go back down. So we need to reload, and we have 150 bullets left. So then if we go back to 1, look at that, it's back to 318. So that's the general idea of what we're going to be doing today. And yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to, so if you go to your event graph, you'll see that a lot of this stuff is default. So if you scroll in, enhanced input action, jump, move, look, and then your typical event begin play stuff that gets input. That's all this, and then everything after that is stuff that I've added. And I've also added aim down sights, which we'll get into in a little bit, and holster weapon, that's just holsters it. So if you want to check it out, if I press the H button, it holsters it, and if I press the H button again, it pops it back out. And this is kind of like a GTA style, I guess. Kind of hides it, so it doesn't really attach to you. You can make it attach, but I just decided not to for now. So yeah. So basically, the idea is we're going to go, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the fire part. So you're going to go to weapon, you're going to create a blueprint, an actor. So create a folder, do whatever you want, blueprint class, actor. And I can show you what that looks like over here. So you see here, I have a weapon master blueprint, and this holds a lot of my code that I have. So basically, I'll link the tutorial down below, like the other one, just because I don't want to repeat what this guy's saying, because he does it pretty well anyway. But pretty much the only thing that I've changed is if you go to your third-person character, where is it? No, give default. Yes, okay. Give default weapons. So I changed give default weapons a little bit so that way it can actually deal with multiple guns. So basically, when you create an array, you're gonna drag off into get a copy, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna get something so you can get a value for it. So each weapon. So what you're gonna do is you make your weapon master, and all you add to it is a weapon mesh. You don't actually add a mesh or anything. You just put something there, so it's a default. So if we open up primary and we go to open full blueprint editor, we go to viewport, you can see there it goes. You can see here that I actually have a weapon. In an event graph, there's nothing here. I'm not actually doing any code. Nothing in construction script, all this. That's because it's a child of weapon master. So basically, in weapon master, you set a bunch of variables, but a very important one is in third-person character. With your default weapons, you have an index. So each index that you have, so it starts at 0 goes to 1. If it's kind of spread that out a little bit, you see that primary weapon and secondary weapon. I'm actually going to show you how I'm going to be adding a third one in just a second, but you basically get whichever value that is, and I believe the default value for that is 0, so it'll start with the sniper rifle, and then it'll spawn the actor, it'll set the owning pawn, and then it'll attach it to the holster, and you'll see that attaching it is actually, it's not to the holster, but it's to the actual hand socket. And then it just sets that as the equipped weapon. So I'm going to make a new weapon. So we're going to click Weapon Master BP, create Child Blueprint, and we're going to call this, what do we want to call this? Let's call this pistol. Oh, we'll call it actually pistol weapon underscore B. Now, if we go over to everywhere, so now we basically need to find everywhere where it asked us about the number of weapons that we have. So we're going to add an array element, and we're going to set it to pistol. Now we're actually going to find a pistol and open it up so we can set all our values. So let's just drag it off to the side here. Now for pistol weapon, we don't need to change that to slot type. We'll just make it a melee. Aim vector, we don't want to touch that. We don't want to touch that. So weapon range, we'll say it's about 10,000. 10,000. Magazine size, what is it, like 20? 10? Let's just do 20. And it's not rapid fire. It can only be done like once, and then once again, and then once again. So we're going to compile, and we're going to save that. Now we can close pistol up. We don't need that. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll out a little bit. I'm going to go to event graph. Actually, let's see. Yeah. Bam. Okay, now we're going to add a third for 2, and we're just going to make it start fire. And we're going to do the same thing here. Okay. So basically we have 3 values for every single gun we have. We have gun 1 loaded, gun 1 picked up, and gun 1 mag size. We're going to have to do the same thing for our other variable. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new variable, and we're going to call this gun3 loaded, and we're going to set this as an integer. Now we're just going to duplicate this, and instead of calling it loaded ammo, I'm going to call this gun3 picked up ammo, and then we're going to duplicate it again, and we're going to call it gun3 magazine. Oh, just mag size. Keep it all the same, right? Alright, now we can go and we see that we've set up all of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to get the magazine size. And we said earlier that our magazine size was what, 20? So we'll set that to be 20. Now, we're going to set our loaded ammo. So gun3 loaded ammo, and we'll just set that as is. Then we're going to set our picked up ammo, and for now, it's just the mag size multiplied by 5, and just plopped it like that. There we go. Compile, save. And then now, what we're going to do is we're going to create another section. So with attack, it'll check for all 3, and then whichever one it is, it'll fire. Now you'll notice that it will go to fire, and it'll check whether it's whether the loaded ammo for each gun is greater than that, and if it is, it will continue, and if it's not, it'll say you need to reload. So we can actually do this really easily. We're going to click add pin, and we are going to create a new branch. Now you can either drag and type branch, but cool people just click B, press and hold B, and then click and then let go of B. That creates a branch for you. So you're going to drag your node that says 2 down into your branch. Then you're going to get gun3, drag it out and click get, and look for greater than. And you can always, you don't ever have to type greater, you can always use math symbols. So you can use greater than, less than, minus, plus, or equal, sorry, plus. Alright, so we're just going to use greater than. And we want it to be greater than 0, we don't need to change that. Bam. Alright, so now if it's false, it says no ammo reload, and if it's true, then it checks if it's valid and fires. Now for firing, what it does essentially is that, okay, don't know what this is for, but yeah, don't know what that's for. That's just kind of hanging there. Okay, so basically what it does, it's line tracing. I personally don't like using actual objects because then it doesn't go exactly where you're aiming. And this is kind of what most people tend to do. It just makes it easier. So basically, to line trace it, the starting point gets the camera. So you'll notice that if I go and actually play something, I'm gonna walk over to a wall here, so we can see it a little. Easier. Oh, what the heck happened here? Okay, I have no clue what just happened. But hang on, my computer's a little laggy right now. All right, cool. So if we go over to the side and I aim, you'll notice that the gun is, okay, that's a little extreme, there we go. The gun is actually pointing into the wall, but the crosshair is pointed outside of the wall, so if I fire, you'd expect it to hit the wall. But no, it doesn't. That's because, third person magic or whatever. So, that's what it does. It basically gets the location of the muzzle, and then gets the location of the camera, and then prefers, and basically just kind of makes it look better like that. So, what it does is it gets the camera location and fires lines directly straight out of that, and it gets the impact point and the trace end, puts it all together, and then with the muzzle location, it traces a line from there and it spawns that location. So basically all it does is it kind of averages them out. So now for the ammo, you basically get whatever your weapon integer value is. We're actually going to add another one because we have, we have a new gun. Now I did try and make this dynamic earlier, it just doesn't really work. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to do set gun 3 loaded ammo. There are easier ways to do this, a bunch of shortcuts, but I won't show you right now. So you're going to get gun 3 loaded ammo. Get gun 3 loaded ammo. Then you have two options. You can either do -1 or you can do -. I prefer just doing minus because, oh, not that, sorry. I prefer just doing minus because I don't need to add it into the actual like node workflow thing. You can do -, that way it will always be once in case like you make a typo or something, but I don't like doing that. So basically what it does is it, ignoring the switch on int, it'll basically, once it fires, it'll get whatever gun you're on, it'll get the loaded ammo for that, subtract by 1, and then set that as the new loaded ammo. And basically what it'll do is it'll always make sure it saves. So for example, right now it's 6-3, we fire twice, now we're 4-3, we can go to our next one, fire a bunch of times, and our third one doesn't work. We need to set the third one. So we're going to go to BP third person character. So that's the ammo system. That's pretty much how that works. So we're going to go back to our event graph, and we're going to look at switching. Bam. Okay, so for switching weapons, when one key is pressed, it'll destroy whatever the current actor is that we're using as a gun, set the integer, and then go through the whole cycle again of getting the weapon that we want, spawning it, and then attaching it. So we're just going to extend this out, right click, 3, scroll down a little bit, keyboard events 3, bam. So we're just going to copy this, make it easier on ourselves. When it's pressed, it'll just do that, and it'll set the weapon integer value to 2. So to get the weapon integer value, you just get whatever button it is and then -1, because it'll always start at 0. Save that. Alright, so now if we Alt-P, you can see that if we press 1, we have our main gun, press 2, we have our rifle, and if we press 3, oh, what happened to that? It seems as though we have, we forgot to add the mesh. So we're gonna open up our pistol weapon again, my bad. Yeah, we forgot the mesh. If we go here, yeah, there's nothing there. So you select it, skeletal mesh, and actually, I kind of like using can use a shotgun actually. Makes it look cooler. So we actually need to change our mag size then. So I'm going to compile, save that, go to third person. Gun 3 mag size is actually, what is it usually, like 4? Who knows? Loaded ammo and picked up ammo always get changed. Bam, so now if we play, you can see that you can aim down sights. This is with the right sniper rifle, with the 2 automatic assault rifle, and then with 3 it changes into a shotgun, and it fires. Now all we need to do is we need to make sure that it shows what it is on our HUD. So you'll notice here how we have it, which we're actually going to, oh, you don't want to do that. Actually, yeah, we can delete that. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert an image real quick, just to fix what we did, and alright, so this should change based on, there we go, okay. And so now if we double check that it'll work, yeah, it's problematic. We'll fix that later. Okay, but basically, we go to our graph and we're going to show. So, get picked up ammo. So we're going to add to this. So the wonderful thing about this is that you can have so many return nodes. It can sometimes clog the system, clog it up just a little bit, but it works. So we're going to add a pin, scroll, and go back. Alright, so I'm going to do as third person BP character, we're going to copy that because we want to get a specific value from third person character. And you can also do this by doing cast to get player character, but I just did that, and just for simplicity's sake, I just casted it and then set it to make a variable. That way it would always just work, and it would look nice and small like that. Alright, so as that, we're going to do get gun 3 picked up ammo. And that is just going to be plugged right to there and set that. So now, compile, save. We've now set up our picked up ammo. Now to get our get loaded ammo, it's the same idea. It'll just be copy the return node, add a new pin, drag and drop it in as third person character, get gun 3 loaded ammo, drop it in there, compile, save. And now what we can actually do is we can just find references for this. Yeah, so we've checked all these. So we actually need to fix this. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to find an image that we can use just to show that it'll work. So we're going to go to this and we're going to do shotgun icon. Man, my search history. Okay, so let's see here. Seymour. Seymour sounds like a name. Okay, sorry. Alright, so let's see here. I'm trying to find one that's kind of like long and wide. Don't make that a joke. Okay, here we go. This looks good. Has relatively enough detail to show that it's a shotgun. So we're save image. And we are going to call this shotgun. Bam. We're going to go back to Unreal. Open up our content browser. Go back to our third person blueprints and just put it in here because that's where all my other stuff is. So import into game, shotgun, perfect. Alrighty, so now what we're going to do is we are going to duplicate our gun 2, and it's basically if you zoom out a little bit, it's just a slate brush is what it is. So we're going to set a default value. We need to compile, set a default value, and this default value is going to be, what did I call it? Shotgun texture. There we go. Bam. Okay. Now we're going to go into third person count. We need to compile, save that, always compile, save. I'm going to go to third person, scroll out, and we're going to go to switch on integer. We want to make sure that we find all of them. Find references. Alright, so let's see, switch on integer. That we don't need to worry about. That one's good. Okay, so we need to focus on making. Okay, so this one you can't really make dynamic. It's not really possible. And if it is, someone please let me know, because this is a pain to deal with. But we're just gonna go drag that up and drag that right on top of it, just save a little space. Alrighty. Oof. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a branch. Remember, press B and click. Take 2, drag it out. Alright. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get gun 3 picked up ammo. And then we're going to check and see if that's greater than 0. Because if it is greater than 0, then we can reload. But if it's not, obviously you can't reload with nothing. So then from there, what it's going to do is it's going to set your loaded ammo as your mag size. So gun 3, set gun 3 loaded ammo as gun 3 mag size. And then and if it's false, then it'll print a string just for debugging purposes, and later we can add something that says something later, but that's not really necessary right now. And then once it sets the loaded ammo, it's going to basically subtract, and we can actually kind of just copy this. And I'll actually show you a handy little thing that we can do. So we're gonna, after we copied it, we'll paste it in from the true side. All right, now watch this. So it says gun 2 picked up ammo. So we're actually gonna find our gun 3 picked up ammo, and we're just gonna plop it over. And we don't want to make it. We want to say change node, and bam, it sets it. So we can do the same thing with everything else. So picked up ammo, do the same thing, make, not make, change node, bam. And mag size, change node. And usually, if you do anything on the text, then it'll show you. But if you do it like on the edge or something, then it'll work. Bam, compile, missed that. Compile, save, all saved. All right. Just to double check. All right, cool. So now what we're gonna do is if we click Alt P, we have aim down sights for 1 weapon, aim down sights for 2, aim down sights for 3, and obviously there's no like fire animation. Actually, you know what? We're gonna add that right now. So we're gonna go to third person BP. We're going to close that. Oh, forgot to do something. Go to Crosshair HUD and go to Designer. Okay, let's check something real quick. So if we go to their third weapon, it should show, but it's not. Okay, that's weird. All right, 1 second real quick. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not. Go to Graph, gun 3, image size. That's why. Okay. Let's try and make that a little bigger. That might not work, but I don't know. Alright, that should all stay the same. Compile, save. Oh, that's why. Forgot to add it here. Alright, so like I said, we can just duplicate that whole thing, connect it, and then change gun 2 to be gun 3. Compile, save. We're actually going to just make it go back to default because that stretched out looks weird. Wait, why is it not reloading? Resetting. So that's problematic. It's not wanting to reset back. Okay, you know what? Whatever. It's fine. I don't really care. So we're going to Alt B. Basically, when you aim down sights, you can see that it creates gun. Actually, we're going to change that right now. So I'm going to go to Crosshair. I believe that's gun 1. Image size. You can actually scale it just a little bit. So, you know, looks a little better. And yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to compile, save, and now if we check, it looks a little, okay, it looks the same. I'm not going to lie. It looks exactly the same. We'll fix that later. I'll fix it later. So then if you go to 2, it'll change, and then if you go to 3, it'll show that. It'll change. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change the animation. So we're going to go to Start Fire, and we are going to have it play a montage. And we're actually going to have it do that right here. Just so ammo stays at the end, because that's important, so you can just always go to it. Do I sound squeaky? Why do I sound squeaky? Okay. Wait. Do you guys hear that? Squeak? Okay. Anyway, moving on. So spawn emitter at location. This is just debugging so we can see where it goes. And you can always like spawn something random. You can spawn a cube or something just to see where it hits. Okay. It's my nose. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's my nose. I sound squeaky. Okay. Sorry. Play and a montage. So first, in a montage, we can just do we're looking. Okay, so we all need ugh, that's annoying. We're gonna go to content, random starter pack, and these are all animation sequences. So we're gonna find where it has fire rifle iron sights. We're gonna open that. Do we need to open that up? I don't know if we need to open that up or not. But we're gonna close that for now actually. But we have that selected, so we're gonna right click, create anim montage. Bam. Fire rifle, iron sights, whatever it's called. Then I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna come here. Bam. Compile. Save. Now watch this not work, because I really don't know what I'm doing. Oh no! Look at that. Bam. See? Nice. And then we get a 2, and then it fires. Oh, okay. That's a problem. We'll fix that later. But then if we go to 3, you'll notice that we can't press and hold. So if we just fire, then it'll do the recoil, bam, oh, reload, bam, bam, bam. Yeah, and that is how you do that. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll link the tutorial I followed down in the description below. But yeah, thank you.